What up, gentlemen? Welcome back to the Riffs Garage here. So as you can see, this is not Mustang related or Capri related or even automotive related. What we're working on today is a trailer gate for a mowing trailer for my cousin. Yeah, we got to take this, I'm assuming it's called mesh. If you guys are smarter than me, let me know what it's called. But this mesh piece, the old piece, where his wheels had come up here, it started sinking in. So we cut that off, and now we're going to put this nice heavy duty. It's a lot thicker, and I'm going to weld in some supports here, so when the wheels come up on it, this thing has something to actually lay against. So let me show you what I got going on here. So whoop. This end over here, I've already drew my chalk line and took a Sharpie and marked where I'm going to have to take my grinder with the cutoff disc and just zip, 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 zip. Yeah, that's a lot of cutting off right there. So down here, I'm going to do the same thing. So down here, I'm going to take my chalk line, I'm going to hook it here, pull it up to here, and pop it. We'll try to match that about 5/8 of an inch right there, about a little bit over a fingernail. Yeah, so I'm gonna get my line over there drawn, and then I'm gonna go get the grinder and start cutting, and then maybe tonight start welding. These things shouldn't take very long to weld, so you know, as I'm banging around on the camera and rattling around. That's awesome. So as you all can see, you probably can't see, but so it's tucked underneath this piece of angle, and what we talked about doing was taking another piece of angle on this end and capping this end. And the reason being is that he does this for a living. So he mows for a living, and so he's constantly mowers up and down multiple times a day. And this stuff is sharp. My goodness. All right. So there's that. So anyhow, yeah, we're thinking about capping that in like the bottom is capped. So, and when I say bottom, I mean the hinge part, which is when the gate is standing up, this is the bottom. So, yeah, let me take the old Sharpie and mark where these things are, where I got to cut. Chalk line is decent, but you can't really see it that great. So I'm just going to take the Sharpie and mark it. And yeah. Yeah, he has one of those gate assist, which is like cables coming out of a spring-loaded deal on the side, on the rails of the trailer. And it works pretty good, but he's worried about adding too much support because of the weight. He's not sure how much weight that thing will hold, or how much weight that it will lift up. Right now it lifts up this gate fine, and I've honestly never looked into them to see what kind of weight limit they have on them. But so yeah, it's one of those things. If it was up to me, I would take and not even use mesh. I would get angle iron and cut it, and I would put them like every 5 inches, 6 inches on both sides, and use that to pull up on. But I'm not a lawnmower gate guy. I just do grinding and welding for him, so I'll let him figure that out. So I swear I'm gonna ruin this perfectly good hoodie because. Alright boys, let me get my El Cheapo Milwaukee grinder. I got the non-fuel grinder, and I don't recommend it. If you're going to buy 18-volt grinder, get the fuel. Way better. My handy dandy Vulcan gloves. These gloves are pretty awesome. I've had these things now for, golly, 4 years. Man, I've used the crap out of them. Grinding, welding, you name it. They are a little thin for, like if you're doing some serious MIG welding, they are a little thin for that. They're really TIG gloves for TIG welding is what they're for, but they work good for welding, whatever you want to weld. Alright, so which way this thing's going to blow. Switch this around so it's not blowing directly in my mouth here. I don't want to taste and eat on some grinding dust. Tell you what would be handy right now is a plasma cutter. So I bought a bunch of Harbor Freight cutting discs. Excuse me, the Bauer. And, you know, they were $3. They're on sale. $3 for a 10-pack. It's actually not bad. For the stuff like this, I mean, I would rather pay $3 for 10 than to pay, you know, $10 for one. That's just me. Some people are different. Some people like to splurge a little bit, and that's cool. Depends on what I'm doing. Need that eventually. I did do some work at the high school my kids used to go to, and I had to cut off some. How's that going? That's how it goes on. Well, maybe. Sometimes I just don't know about it. Just don't know about it. Anyhow, what I was saying is I still have it somewhere, an old Makita 4-inch corded grinder. I don't even know where that thing is now, but it worked all right. But the local high school that my son graduated from, he played baseball, and they was needing some fence, so they had the railing inside the dugout, and they was needing that moved. So I took my trusty old grinder and my welder, flux core at the time, but didn't have gas on it, and I went there and moved it. I cut it off, but doing that job, I did end up using some really good cutting disc, like way better than this stuff, just because, man, that old fence post stuff that they had on there, it's pretty hard. Lasted a lot longer. Maybe my cousin was just kind of cramming it in because it was pretty hot when he was using it yesterday, so maybe he needs to stop acting like a caveman and be gentle. These are men's tools, but they're gentle tools. Gentle. And I got to put something over my Capri. If not, I'm going to be shooting sparks inside the car. This is where having a nice welding blanket would come in handy. Y'all know what I mean? Tell me if you don't. I'm just curious. This thing's already caught on fire once. It happens. It happens. There. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'll put a moving blanket over the door. This blanket's probably saturated with oil and gas and, you know, whatever, brake cleaner, whatever, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but tons of combustible chemicals. So I'm going to shoot sparks on it and hope that it doesn't catch on fire. But if it does, at least I'm not getting sparks inside the car. It's about 6 ways to look at it. That was 2. Sorry I keep clearing my throat, but I just ate about 16 pounds of metal dust, so yeah, you're gonna have to forgive me on that one. All right. So my kid the other day down here messing. That's why all this stuff is all jacked up. I need a welding thing to go on my clamp, or a magnet. That's what I really need. I'm going to use this because it's heavy to hold down whenever I tack it. Make sense? Alright, let's test the old ground belt. Let's make sure we're getting solid ground. Overkill thing in the history of mower trailers, but I can't help it. This is kind of how I am, guys. It's kind of how I am. This don't really matter because there's no chalk in it. Pretty sure my kid got out here one day and dumped it out inside the garage. Probably didn't know what it was for. Oh well. Let's continue on. Alright guys, one thing that I'm torn on is to weld both sides. I don't know if it'll eventually peel off if I don't, if it's just going to break. So, I do need to take and hammer down on these bottom side, and because it's up here, so there's a gap, right? I do need to kind of smash that down a little bit closer to keep that from bouncing so much, because that would probably eventually cause the gate to, the welds to break over time. So let me do that real quick, and we're going to wrap this up. Alright boys, I think that's going to wrap it up. Let me clear out some of this stuff and I can kind of show you the crappy welds that I've done, and kind of go from there. Get you off the tripod. Hey, you're still there. Wow, hour 15 minutes. Alright, so let's give you a couple of them. It's dirty, so you really can't see the actual welds, but that's a little bit cleaner. There you go. Let me get you zoomed out. Oh, maybe. Oh, already out far enough. All right, guys. There it is. Tucked underneath. The old Capri. Tucked underneath. Welded up down that side. I may come back and take a clamp and clamp these down, and then take a hammer and tap that down and weld it, or have my cousin come and help me, and just to get a weld closer to here to kind of pull that. See that gap? There's a gap right there. So anyhow, guys, I'm tired. I'm hungry. This is the most work I've done, and as far as manual labor type work, I work for the government. We don't really do a lot of manual labor, at least not my job. Some of those guys work pretty hard, but not what I do. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If this helped you out any, which I don't think it will, but if it does, oh, one more thing, back up. So what I ended up doing, I ended up welding both sides, and how I chose where to weld, I basically put the welds back where they were from the factory. So if I seen a weld that was there, that we had ground down, that's where I put the welds at. Like I said, it's a mowing trailer, nothing fancy. It'll be beat up, beat on, and you know. But I am going to come back. I may do a part 2 video. I am going to come back and put supports across here. So I'm going to flip it over and I'll weld them from underneath. And that'll keep this thing so whenever his wheel comes up on it, It'll keep it from collapsing. And yeah, so anyhow, guys. All right, finished up the trailer and basically welded up supports. Back up, give y'all a big view. I didn't film any of it because we was in a hurry. But yeah, all that's welded up. Got to come back and we got to cap it here, here, and here. And then it'll be 100% finished. Got a lot of welding dust or grinding dust and welding fumes in the nostrils and the throat all the way down. Pretty rough, but I'll go blow all that garbage out. Guys, like I said, it's going to wrap this video up. It's a little bit different content, but you know, if it'll help somebody out or if it's entertaining to watch somebody cut, grind, and weld, I like doing that, then hey, by all means. Guys, thank you. I think I'm up to like 98, 99 subscribers. I may be close to 100, maybe 100 now. I never thought I'd get that high because I never done this to get subscribers. I done this to just to have fun, right? But if you like it, you know, like the video, comment, leave me comments. Say I like to interact with people. Share the video and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, guys, I love you, and peace.